I'm the CRM Ninja, and on today's show of the Oops Factor episode, we have the one, the only Goddess 365, or even 365 Goddess. I'm too tired to remember which way around it is, but Dian Taylor.
Hello, hello. Yeah, it's D365 Goddess, so you're close. But you said it right,
D365 Goddess.
I think. Yeah.
Well, if you do it both ways round, inevitably one of them should be correct.
That's right. Just keep repeating it. D365 Goddess 365D. Something like that. Just keep going. It's all good.
So in D365 Goddess, does the D stand for dynamics or for Dian?
That's actually really, really funny, and I never thought about that. It's Dynamics 365. And the story behind it is kind of funny because I remembered when I started working with Champion Solutions Group, which was my first CRM gig, I guess. I started out in HR, and then I went to the COO at some point in time and basically said, "Look, I've been here 3+ years. You gotta make your own, right? Like you gotta just go for it." So I was like, "Listen, I've done a lot. I'm in HR. I'm doing marketing. I'm doing like all this other stuff. I want to do something in IT." And he goes like, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I was like, well, that was kind of it. Like I didn't think any further because I thought you were going to shoot me down. But he was like, "Okay, well, think about it and then get back to me on what you want to do." And then the CEO heard about that and he was like, so he invites me to his office. So I was like, oh my God, right? CEO. It was kind of weird. I was like really trembling and shaky and like all nervous. And he goes like, "So I hear that you want to do something in IT." And I was like, "Well, yeah, if it's possible, that'd be great." And he goes like, "Well, we're starting this new thing that we want to sell, which is called Dynamics 365. He goes like, "Well, what do you think? Would you want to head that up?" And I literally said, "I have no idea what it is, but I'm in." So that's kind of how I started. Yeah. It was
That sounds like my first job. It wasn't Dynamics 365, but, they said, "Do you know about CRM and SQL?" And I went, "Sure."
No.
And I finished the interview and I went out and bought lots of thick books on it and read through it.
That's how you do it. You just BS your way through it, right? Especially in the beginning. Well, we weren't really BSing. I told him I did not know what it was. But yeah, it was very exciting. It was really funny too, because I had to do demos like in my first week of doing that. And it was, watch some YouTube videos. So yeah, it's kind of what I did. It's crazy. It's fun though. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah,
that's really... I was going to tell you the story. Like, see, this is me. Like I'm drifting here and there, and then I come back here and then I go there again. But
go for it.
So on my, we went that following month, I believe we went to LA because Microsoft had their partner conference going on. Yep. So, and my sales guy, really nice guy, I'm still in touch with him, introduces me to everybody as, "Oh, this is our CRM goddess." So that's kind of how that stuck. Yeah. It's really funny. And I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I don't know anything.
And then you went to search for the Twitter handle and here you are.
Yeah, and when Microsoft actually changed it from CRM to Dynamics 365, I just changed my Twitter handle. So that was funny. Yeah.
Aren't you lucky it was still available?
That's what I said. I was like, "Oh, it's going to be gone," but I guess not. And I was lucky enough Microsoft didn't change it again. But yeah, we'll see what happens then.
Yeah, this is always the question when people decide what their social personality is going to be, as to whether you do something, you stick with it, or if you're concerned that the vendor, in this case Microsoft, will actually change the branding and you have to change everything all over again.
Yeah, let's hope they're not doing that. I saw that a lot of it is going to 365, right? Like Office 365 is now Microsoft 365. So I'm guessing they're sticking to that. Let's just hope so. And otherwise, I'm just going to keep it because that's my brand now, right?
That is indeed your brand. You are well known for it being your brand.
Yeah, everybody makes fun of me, which is kind of hilarious, but I'm good. I'm good with that. I can take a good fun making of. Is that even a word? Yeah. So.
And I'm sure it is somewhere, someone's dictionary.
Well, now it is. New word by me.
It's okay. We'll put it on Wikipedia tonight. Make sure the entry is there, fully fleshed out with a whole background.
I like it. And then when you look it up, you see a picture of me there.
Of course. You expected something different.
No, that's true. It's pretty good.
So from being D365 Goddess to the Oops Factor, what do you have to share with us?
Oh yeah, I had to think about this one because I had a lot of missteps. But I figured I wanted to do one that was also kind of funny. So,
Okay.
um, gosh, this is about 5 years ago, 20-ish years ago, a long time ago. Anyway, so I was still living in my hometown, which we'll talk about later.
Okay.
And a group of my friends were like, hey, let's go to this hypnotist. His name was Rusty Rostelli. Yeah, try to say that again. So we're heading, and I was like, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. I don't believe in that kind of crap, but okay, sure, let's do it. So there's this huge, right, crowd of people inside, right? Once we get inside, and there's old tables and like all sorts of things, and there's like, I
Okay.
don't know, a couple hundred people. And this guy starts to do this little thing with this particular woman that, hey, how are you? I'm good. Okay, do you want to, I want to just show the crowd something. And it was like, okay, great. So, and then of course, half of us were like, yeah, sure. So his question was then, who does not believe in hypnotism? And of course, I was the first one with my hand up, right? 20 years ago. Yeah,
You were
exactly.
probably jumping up and down, going like, "Nah, this
It's,
whole thing,
yeah,
nah."
this is BS. Come on, I don't believe in this. So of course he was like, why don't you come up on stage with me? I'm like, great, that's awesome. So we went on stage, and not just me, there was like a whole bunch of other people as well. But
Okay.
he had us do all sorts of weird stuff. He had us bite into a lemon, and I'm telling you, this has been the craziest experience in my life. Where I remember biting into that lemon, and I remember them, like people laughing, but it tasted like an orange.
Hold on. So
It
he actually
was
hypnotized you.
He actually hypnotized me. So my lesson learned, I guess, is to be more open to things that you don't know anything about versus just judging, right? Yeah, it doesn't exist.
What
So
did
it's
your
fine.
friends say to you when you came back down off
Oh,
stage?
everybody made fun of me, of course, and the Dutch are kind of brutal, so they're like, "Oh, you stupid," well, whatever, right? And people were recording it, like, I mean, not on their cell phones, but my friend actually had one of those big cameras, right? That he recorded a little piece of it, and then a lady comes and goes like, "You can't record in here," but of course, he still has it and makes fun of me every now and then, but yeah, so that was fun. Yeah, not so much.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting, very strange. I've never obviously gone to any other hypnotist show after that. I'm not planning to go anytime
So,
soon. So,
so when you go to the supermarket and you see lemons, what goes through your head?
oranges. No, I'm kidding. No, nothing really. It does remind me of that time. It was just really, really funny because he had this big group of people. There were probably 15 people on stage or whatever. And some people, I don't know, woke up and were taken off of stage. And I think, the last 5 people on there. It was, and another friend of mine was on there as well, which was funny, but she actually was, I think, the last 3 or something like that. So
Wow.
he was doing weird stuff with like putting people on 2 chairs, and then planking or whatever that is. It
Yep.
was really weird. So yeah, I did not want that guy to plank me. So thank God I woke up.
He just got you to bite into lemons.
That was it for me. That was great. But after that, I was, yeah, I'm out. Woke up, so it's all good. But it was funny because you wake up, and then my friend goes like, you ate like a lemon, whatever. And I was like, no, I didn't. Like we had an argument that I didn't eat a lemon. He goes like, lick your lips, and I'm, oh. So yeah, it was really weird. It's so strange. It's a very strange thing. But I would definitely recommend it. So
It can be interesting.
for sure,
It can
yeah,
be interesting. The thing about hypnotism, of course, is that you can't force somebody to do something against their will that they don't want to do.
planking. Hence me waking up, right? Probably. Yeah. I would not would have liked that, but yeah. No, it was
Quite
really
possibly.
cool. It was really cool. You should try it.
Let's just say that I have.
You have. Oh, do tell. What happened? Now I want to know.
No, you're the one I'm interviewing. I it didn't go particularly well for the hypnotist. He didn't manage to put me under particularly deep.
Oh, you
So
were
it was.
against it.
I told him to give his best shot, and he gave it his best shot. And basically, it just felt like I was a little sleepy. I was
Oh,
perfectly conscious of where I was, what questions I was answering, and I didn't do anything.
Okay. Oh, that's too bad. So you didn't really get the full experience. Okay.
No, no, I didn't get. I mean, I have bitten into a lemon, not when think it's an orange, but it's
I
really
know,
been.
right? Oh, yeah, it's still, it's just so weird that you just keep remembering that it was an orange. And I, like I said, I very vividly remembered that I just really had that, conversation, that almost argument with my friend. He's like, no, no, yes, yes, no, seriously, are you blind? Blah, blah. It was just really weird. Yeah, very
So
strange.
the lesson you learned is to be more accommodating. How has that helped you going forward in life? Then, can you give an example of a scenario whereby you sort of caught yourself and thought, no, I should really actually accept that a bit more or be more open to it?
I can't really say it's helped me a lot. Because I mean, I've always been, if I translate this, it would be like be open to things and that type of stuff. And I've always been normally, I guess, I don't know, open to things. I just really thought that there was a crock, so that was basically what it is. But I think it's just maybe trying not to, like I said, form an opinion about things that you just, when you see something on Facebook, right? Or when you just have an opinion on something without researching that. I think that's very, very important. And that kind of goes back to, what you and I do from a day-to-day standpoint as well, right? I always thought that, in order to do anything in the Power Platform or anything in IT, you have to be very, very smart. And I'm in IT, so I'm living proof that you don't have to be. So, it's, what I mean? It's like, I thought you needed to do coding and, back in the
Oh
days
no, no.
in the 80s, there was a lot of that stuff. I remember my stepbrother actually wrote a computer game. The guy is so smart. It's ridiculous. He is ridiculously smart. But, and nowadays, well, even back in, I guess, a little bit 10 years ago, it's not like that. Like anybody can learn it basically, which is great. And
It's the
that's
beauty of the
also,
platform.
yeah, exactly. And I think that was a big eye opener for me as well. And I think that's what's stopping a lot of people, which is
Okay.
too bad, because they think like, oh, it's going to take such a long time for me to master this, which you're never going to master it, first of all, but you don't have to. And I think that's the most important thing, because I still, on a day-to-day basis, when I work on stuff and I get questions, sometimes I still feel like I don't know enough, but I want to know everything. So,
We all do.
right.
Yes, yes. I mean, if we can know every one of the several dozen first-party apps, and then the ways of doing it, wouldn't that be marvelous?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one feeling that way. So it makes me feel a little bit better.
So, really, some very valuable lessons. People don't underestimate yourself, don't overestimate other things, and keep an open mind because you never know where it can get you.
Absolutely.
The
Yeah,
saying,
absolutely.
you're given two ears and one mouth. You should be listening twice as much as you speak. So listen, if your first reaction is, I don't agree with that or I don't believe in that, just wait a bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Ask them, to
And listen to the why, right? You might not agree with what they stand for or what they believe in, but if you know more about the background, you might be able to understand it, right? So you don't have to like
most
immediately
definitely.
disagree with people. So, yeah.
Oh yes, most definitely. And disagreeing with people really sucks
Yeah.
because it causes all sorts of problems.
Yeah, which is still kind of, I don't have that sort of relationship with my friends in the Netherlands, because I guess it's just a little different here in the US. I'm still like, I moved in 2004, so it's a bit ago. I'm still adjusting. I mean, that sounds maybe a little bit strange, but I'm still on a weekly basis. I'm just so stunned with certain reactions
Yep.
where I think it's completely healthy to have, opposite opinions. And I don't understand why you can't still be friends.
Different cultures,
Yeah,
different places
for sure. For
for
sure.
the choice. Well, Dian, thank you really so much for sharing all of that.
Yeah.
Now, here comes your moment to nominate somebody to come on and share their story.
Okay, so I did some research because there were some people that I saw in there that I was like, oh, I want to nominate them. And then I saw on your website that they had already been there. So I am going to nominate my fellow MVP and fellow coworker, great, great guy. Love him to death. He's so talented. He's super smart. Seth Bacon.
Seth, right. Well, I mean, after a build up like that, how could he possibly refuse?
He's not going to, otherwise I have to fly to Seattle and do something. Kick his
Okay.
behind.
Okay. Seth, we're coming for you. in a good way to appear on the show. We hope.
We shall see.
We shall see. I will drop him a line. Brilliant. Well,
awesome.
Dian, once again, thank you so much for coming on the show. Viewers,
My pleasure.
we hope that you've really enjoyed this. Feel free to check out the rest of the Factor playlist, subscribe to the channel, take a look at the blog, and above all, have a great day.